Bob Hope. The name itself evokes an era, a titan of comedy, a master of ceremonies, a tireless entertainer who spanned nearly a century and became, arguably, America's most beloved figure. He was the star who brought laughter to millions, the unwavering patriot who traveled the globe to boost the morale of troops, the man who stood side by side with presidents and hosted the Academy Awards more times than anyone in history. He was the very embodiment of American optimism, vitality, and the seemingly perfect, wholesome family man. But what if the image we adored, the icon we celebrated, was a carefully constructed masterpiece of illusion? What if, behind the quick wit and the dazzling smile, lay a life shrouded in secrets, a personal reality that starkly contrasted the public facade? For decades, whispers circulated, rumors persisted, hinting at a hidden world, a mystery of a scale that, if fully revealed, would shake the foundations of his carefully built legacy. Today, we delve into that mystery, the Bob Hope mystery, a puzzle of a private life that, according to those who eventually spoke out, was finally solved. Leslie Towns Hope was born in Eltham, London, England, in 1903. His father, William Henry Hope, was a stonemason. His mother, Avis Towns, was a former concert singer. The family wasn't wealthy, and life was a struggle. Seeking better opportunities, the Hope family emigrated to the United States in 1908, settling in Cleveland, Ohio. Young Leslie quickly adapted, showing a natural knack for performance and a drive to succeed. He entered talent contests, sang, danced, and even took up boxing under the name Packy East. These early years were marked by hustle, ambition, and a relentless pursuit of the stage, hinting at the extraordinary drive that would define his life. Right from these humble beginnings as a working-class immigrant boy, he was on a path to becoming an artist who would represent the very spirit of American entertainment. Hope's path to becoming Bob Hope was paved with hard work and versatility. He honed his skills in the demanding world of vaudeville, performing in diverse acts across the country. It was in this crucible of live performance that he perfected his rapid-fire delivery, his timing, and his ability to connect directly with an audience, skills that would serve him throughout his long career. The 1930s saw Hope transition to the burgeoning medium of radio. His appearances on various shows led to his own program, The Bob Hope Show, which premiered in 1938. Radio was where he truly became a national voice. His monologues filled with topical jokes and self-deprecating humor reaching millions of homes weekly. This widespread recognition made the leap to motion pictures inevitable. He signed with Paramount Pictures, initially appearing in a series of comedies. While not all were blockbusters, they allowed him to refine his screen persona, the slightly timid but quick-witted character who always had a joke ready. These early film roles were the stepping stones, preparing him for the massive success that lay just around the corner. The real game-changer came with the road to series of films, beginning with Road to Singapore in 1940, co-starring Bing Crosby and Dorothy Lamour. These films, a blend of comedy, music, and exotic locations, were immensely popular and solidified Hope's status as a major movie star. His chemistry with Crosby was legendary, creating a dynamic comedic duo that captivated audiences. But Bob Hope's legacy would transcend the silver screen and the radio waves. As World War II erupted, Hope found his true calling and solidified his place as an American icon, entertaining the troops. Beginning in 1941, he embarked on a mission that would define him for nearly 50 years, traveling to military bases around the world, often in dangerous conditions, to perform for servicemen and women. These USO tours became legendary. From the battlefields of Europe in World War II to the freezing temperatures of Korea, the jungles of Vietnam, and eventually the deserts of the Persian Gulf, Bob Hope was there. He brought a piece of home, a moment of laughter, and a connection to the world they were fighting for. He wasn't just an entertainer, he was a symbol of America's gratitude and resilience, the embodiment of the nation's heart reaching out to its defenders. This tireless dedication earned him numerous awards and accolades, including multiple honorary medals and resolutions from Congress, cementing his image as a national treasure. A patriot whose love for his country and its servicemen and women was undeniable. He became the artist representing the United States on a global stage, a true cultural ambassador of American optimism. Beyond the USO stages, Hope remained a dominant force in American entertainment. He hosted the Academy Awards a record 19 times, his wit sharp and his presence commanding. His annual Christmas television specials were must-watch events, featuring a parade of stars and reinforcing his image as the genial host, the heart of American entertainment. In the public eye, Bob Hope was the epitome of success, patriotism, and wholesome, family-friendly entertainment. He cultivated an image of a man dedicated to his craft, his country, and his long-time marriage to his wife, Dolores. This carefully maintained public persona was flawless, a shining example of the American dream achieved through hard work and good humor. Central to Bob Hope's public image was his seemingly rock-solid marriage to Dolores Reed Hope. A talented singer herself, Dolores met Bob when they were both performing. They married in 1934, and their union lasted for an astonishing 69 years until Bob's death in 2003. The public saw Dolores as the steadfast partner, the graceful woman who often accompanied Bob on his grueling USO tours, singing beautifully and adding a touch of elegance to the stages built in war zones. They adopted 4 children together: Linda, Tony, Kelly, and Nora. The image presented to the world was one of stability, warmth, and a shared life built on mutual respect and devotion. A classic Hollywood power couple, who also happened to be a picture of American domesticity. Interviews and public appearances painted a picture of a happy, enduring marriage. Dolores was always supportive, always by his side at major events, always playing the role of the devoted wife to the beloved star. It was a narrative that fit perfectly with the wholesome, family-friendly brand that Bob Hope represented. However, behind the carefully polished veneer of the perfect Hollywood marriage, a different reality was allegedly unfolding. While the public celebrated the enduring union of Bob and Dolores, whispers within the entertainment industry and persistent accounts from those who knew him hinted at a life far more complex, far less monogamous, and guarded with a ferocity that matched his public ambition. As Bob Hope's fame grew, so too, allegedly, did his private life expand in ways that directly contradicted his public image. This wasn't just the occasional indiscretion. According to numerous sources, it was a systematic, long-term pattern of behavior that involved multiple women, orchestrated in a manner that allowed him to maintain his public facade at all costs. This is the heart of the Bob Hope mystery, the part of his life that remained hidden in plain sight for decades. While he was crisscrossing the globe entertaining troops and being hailed as a moral beacon, Bob Hope was allegedly living a double life, a life filled with romantic entanglements and long-term relationships outside of his marriage to Dolores. The shocking secret? He was rumored to have maintained not just occasional affairs, but multiple, simultaneous serious relationships that some biographers have likened to a form of de facto polygamy, all while projecting the image of a devoted, happily married man. According to numerous biographies, most notably Arthur Marx's unauthorized account and later works drawing on interviews with people who worked closely with Hope, his infidelity wasn't random or opportunistic. It was, by many accounts, an organized system, facilitated by his inner circle, designed to provide him with companionship and intimacy while meticulously protecting his public image and his marriage to Dolores. The sheer scale and duration of these alleged relationships are what make this story so compelling and, for many, so unsettling. How was this possible? Hope's vast wealth and immense power in Hollywood and beyond were key. He reportedly maintained a series of crash pads, discreet apartments in cities like New York and Los Angeles, where he could meet women away from the prying eyes of the press and public. His personal staff, including his closest associates and even his personal assistants, were allegedly aware of these relationships and played a crucial role in arranging meetings, managing logistics, and ensuring discretion. This level of complicity suggests a deep-seated pattern of behavior, not just a fleeting affair, but a carefully managed lifestyle. The list of women allegedly involved with Bob Hope is extensive and, according to various accounts, includes actresses, showgirls, and other women he met through his work. While the full scope may never be known, certain names have consistently appeared in biographies and tell-all accounts over the years. Perhaps the most significant and frequently cited relationship was with actress Marilyn Maxwell. Their alleged affair reportedly spanned many years, starting in the 1940s and continuing for decades. Maxwell was a talented performer, and accounts suggest Hope was deeply fond of her. Biographers like Arthur Marks have detailed their alleged meetings and the length of their connection, painting a picture of a relationship that went far beyond a casual fling, one that some have described as a serious, long-term bond existing parallel to his marriage. Maxwell herself, later in life, reportedly hinted at the depth and duration of their connection, suggesting a complex, hidden arrangement. Other actresses linked to Hope included Barbara Payton, a troubled starlet whose brief but tumultuous relationship with Hope became public knowledge after her death when her own memoir was published, detailing her encounters with him and his alleged efforts to control the situation and silence her. Paula Kelly, a talented dancer and singer, was also widely reported to have had a significant, long-term relationship with Hope, often accompanying him on trips, albeit discreetly, for years. Even more famous names, like Joan Collins, have been mentioned in connection with him, although the nature and duration of those alleged connections vary in different accounts. The persistent theme is not just flirtation, but sustained, managed relationships. These weren't just brief, one-off encounters. Numerous accounts suggest these were ongoing, serious relationships, some reportedly lasting for years, existing parallel to his marriage to Dolores. How did he manage this incredible balancing act? His fame was his shield. Few dared to cross Bob Hope, given his power, his connections, and the immense public adoration he commanded. The press, largely compliant in the studio system era and unwilling to tarnish a national hero, either didn't know or chose not to report on the persistent rumors circulating within the industry. Those who did know, the women involved, his staff, industry insiders often had powerful reasons to stay silent. For the women, it could be anything from genuine affection to the hope of career advancement, financial support, or simply the difficulty of speaking out against such a powerful figure. For his staff, silence was mandatory. Their livelihoods depended on it. Some accounts suggest that Bob Hope went to great lengths to ensure the discretion of those involved, potentially using financial settlements or influence to keep stories from leaking. And what of Dolores? This is perhaps the most complex and poignant aspect of the mystery. While the official narrative was always one of a devoted wife, the overwhelming consensus among biographers and those close to the family is that Dolores Hope was, at the very least, aware of her husband's infidelity and likely aware of the pattern of long-term relationships. The extent of her knowledge and her feelings remain largely private, guarded behind the walls of their sprawling estate. But it is widely believed that she chose to tolerate the situation for various complex reasons, preserving the family unit and protecting their adopted children from scandal, maintaining the carefully cultivated public image that was so vital to Bob's career and their shared life, or perhaps even a pragmatic acceptance of the realities of power and fame in Hollywood, combined with her own personal values or limitations. Her decision, whatever the reasons and whatever the personal cost to her, allowed Bob to maintain his double life without the public scandal that could have destroyed his career and his carefully crafted image as the wholesome American icon. It was, by some interpretations, a silent agreement, a private arrangement made to preserve a public facade. The mystery-solved aspect doesn't come from a single dramatic confession or a newly discovered diary. It's the slow, steady drip of information over decades, accelerating significantly after Bob Hope's death in 2003. With the fear of retribution or damaging his active career gone, people felt freer to talk. Biographies delving into his private life were published. Memoir by women claiming relationships with him appeared, and long-standing rumors, once confined to industry insiders, were finally corroborated by multiple sources speaking on the record or in private interviews with biographers. The sheer volume, consistency, and detail of these accounts, originating from different people at different times, painted an undeniable picture of a life far more complicated, secretive, and less conventional than the public had ever been allowed to see. This is why the truth isn't good. It challenges the very foundation of his iconic status as a symbol of wholesome American values. It reveals a potential hypocrisy in the man who so proudly represented patriotism and family life while allegedly maintaining a clandestine network of relationships that, by many accounts, went far beyond casual affairs and into the realm of a hidden, parallel life. It casts a significant shadow over the image of the devoted husband, suggesting a level of detachment, entitlement, or compartmentalization that is deeply uncomfortable for many of his admirers to confront. It forces a re-evaluation of his immense legacy, asking whether the cost of maintaining that perfect, marketable image was a profound dishonesty in his most personal life. For the women involved, it highlights the potential for being used, manipulated, or kept hidden in the shadows by a powerful man determined to protect his brand above all else. Accounts describe how seamlessly Hope compartmentalized his life. He could be the dedicated patriot on a USO stage, inspiring thousands one day, the loving husband and father in a staged photo op the next, and the discreet lover in a private apartment the day after. This astonishing ability to maintain such distinct personas, while perhaps a testament to his performing skill and mental fortitude, is also, for many, a disturbing look into the nature of fame, the creation of public mythologies, and the potential for profound inner division. The drama lies not just in the existence of the affairs, which sadly are not uncommon among public figures, but in the alleged scale, the systematic nature of their management involving multiple simultaneous relationships, and the stark, jarring contrast with the specific, wholesome, family man image he cultivated and projected as a cornerstone of his brand and his status as an American icon. It forces us to question how much of the iconic image we adored was real, and how much was the most elaborate, long-running performance of his extraordinary life. The unveiling of this shadow life has added a layer of complexity, and for some, disappointment, to the legacy of America's most beloved entertainer. Despite the complexities of his private life now being more widely known, Bob Hope's public career continued for an astonishingly long time. Even in his later years, well into his 90s, he made appearances, still cracking jokes, still the recognizable, beloved figure. He slowed down significantly in his final decade, but his legacy as an entertainer and patriot remained firmly established in the public consciousness. He lived to be 100 years old, a remarkable feat. On July 27, 2003, just a few months after celebrating his centennial birthday, Bob Hope passed away peacefully at his home in Toluca Lake, California. His death was a national event, met with tributes from presidents, world leaders, and countless fans who remembered him fondly from his movies, his shows, and his tirelessly patriotic tours. Dolores, his wife of nearly 70 years, was by his side until the very end, a testament to a union that, whatever its private complexity, endured publicly for 7 decades. In the public narrative surrounding his death, their long marriage remained a cornerstone of his enduring image. Even as more detailed accounts of his alleged private life began to surface more prominently in the years following his death, the initial wave of tributes focused almost exclusively on his professional achievements, his patriotism, and the joy he brought to the world, a final reinforcement of the carefully constructed icon. His death marked the end of an era, the passing of one of the last links to Hollywood's golden age, and a truly unique figure in American history. Bob Hope's place in history is undeniable. He was a pioneering force in vaudeville, radio, film, and television. He perfected a style of topical, rapid-fire comedy that influenced generations. His record of entertaining troops is unparalleled and cemented his status as a true American patriot, earning him honors no other entertainer has ever received. He was, without question, an icon, a symbol of America's optimism, resilience, and generosity. But as the years pass and more information becomes available through biographies, memoir, and historical accounts, the man behind the icon appears far more complex, far less perfect, and perhaps, for some, a figure tinged with disappointment. The mystery of his alleged double life, meticulously documented in later biographies and accounts, stands in stark, undeniable contrast to the wholesome, family-friendly image he so carefully cultivated and which was so eagerly embraced by the American public. It reveals a significant tension between the public man and the private man. His story is a powerful illustration of the gap that can exist between the public persona of a superstar and their private reality. It highlights the intense pressure to maintain a perfect image in Hollywood, especially in earlier eras, and the lengths to which individuals and their organizations would go to protect that image from any perceived scandal. It speaks to the complicity of an industry and a public willing to believe the narrative presented to them. The Bob Hope mystery has been solved, not by a single dramatic confession, but by time, by the persistence of biographers willing to delve into uncomfortable truths, and by the eventual willingness of some who were part of his private world to share their stories. And while the truth, as promised, isn't good in the sense of preserving a naive image of a perfect hero, it offers a more nuanced, perhaps more human, if deeply flawed and contradictory, portrait of a man who was simultaneously a national treasure and, allegedly, a master of deception in his most personal life. His legacy remained immense and undeniable, but now viewed through a lens that reveals the carefully guarded secrets of the man who brought laughter to millions while, according to accounts, living a complex and hidden shadow life, a life that finally, in the quiet years after his passing, began to emerge from the carefully constructed darkness.